G'day folks, well this is a redo video if you like. I'm updating a video that I have lost and I want to put it back so that it links correctly on the Twisty Puzzles forum thread that it was from. And that video was from about 7 or 8 years ago, so this is definitely a redo. What this puzzle is a crazy Jupiter puzzle, so all the faces are one faces, so the center piece is turned with the face, apart from the white face. So that's a Jupiter puzzle, but clearly you'll notice there's this pink block there, and this is some B4 bandaging. That term was coined by Burgo on the forums, and it was like a fourth type of bandaging, and he got really inventive, and this is just one example of that. So I did a walkthrough video of this puzzle, as I said, years ago, and I want to redo it. And so it won't be exactly the same, but it should still be a walkthrough solve of the video. So the first thing to do is to do a scramble. And I'm not going to do the whole scramble, but clearly I've got to get these pink bits. And I can do that however I like, but something like this. That's the sort of thing I'm going to do. I'm going to keep going until it's scrambled fairly well. Alright, well you can see that's a pretty reasonable scramble there, and what I'm going to do firstly, you might have guessed, is to try and remake this pink block. And so what I want to do is just think, well this can only turn around like that on the white face, and so I need to put a pink piece in the white-green position because the block belongs there. So I've got to get a pink piece here somehow. I can put that there first. That happens to have another corner with it, I'll take it, it doesn't really matter. I will do this corner at the same time, and one of these is going to come out when I reduce edges later, but that's okay, it'll come straight back in when we do the corners. Now that's got one part of it done, and what I'm going to do then is just turn it sort of up like this. That's where I'll make the other pink edge piece. To do that I'm going to have to get it down underneath where it needs to go. Okay, so it's now underneath there. I can turn it up into its position and then return that block, and I can then do the corners in the same way that I did before. There's one here. I might just get that one. No worries about that. I'll just that's sort of the old way that I used to do corners. Okay, so that block is now made. It's not actually in the correct position though, is it? Because I had it needs to be in the white green, so I can't just turn it around like that. All I'm going to need to do is turn it down and then back up into that position. That's now in the correct position. Now the next bit that I'm going to do is start reducing the edges, and this is actually much easier than it seems. So I know we're blocked, but what I'm going to do is say, well, I've got a green outer edge sitting here. I'd like there to be a green inner edge sitting there. So I just find one, there's one there on the bottom, turn it underneath that position and just temporarily turn that off, put it there, turn that back. I then want to look at this, and that would be enough to do this, but I want to try and get at least 2 done. I'll look at this inner edge here, which is blue, and say if I can, I'd like to get another blue inner edge, a blue outer, either here or here, where that's sitting. Now that's there, lovely. Let me show you how this works. I turn this around, that makes the green edge, or it reduces the green edge. Now this is the bit where this particular corner just comes out, which is what I was saying before. I turn my new piece up into position, so that green edge is safe. I turn this back and that blue has now come and made that. So in that process we've done that piece there and that piece there. That's it. So I would just go really quickly if I wasn't videoing. There's a red inner, I need a red outer in that position, so I'll just check for one on the bottom, turn it up. Again, this is attached to a blue inner, so I want to place a blue outer down here somewhere if I can. Now I've got one there, but it's already done, so it would be nice to do one that isn't done. and I see that there's one here, so I'd like to get that blue outer onto the bottom. Now normally I'd just turn it down, but I can't, so I just need to put that over there and turn it down and then bring it back. And now where'd it go? There it is. It's now in position, ready to go. So I turn, replace, unturn. That's a red inner, so I want a red outer in this position. It's got a yellow inner, so I'd like a yellow outer ready to go. Now there's a yellow outer here, so what I can do, it's actually on the wrong side, because when it turns up, it's going to turn up to there. I want it to turn up to the top. So I'm just going to flip it over, if you like, put it down onto the bottom, up, up, down, down, which I'd normally just do, but this is blocking, so I turn that off. Now I can return that. That yellow outer is now underneath where it needs to go. And that time I think, did we get 3 done? 1, 2, 3, I reckon we did. So now, I'll just turn another one up. That's an orange outer. I'd like an orange inner sitting in there. Okay, here's one. So again, I'm going to just flip that over. Probably should have left that there while I turned it up. And I'm coming back to a white inner. So I need a white outer. There is one there. There's also one here, which I might as well use. So the hard part here is not reducing, it's just putting the edges into the positions that they need to be. Here's a white outer, let's find a white inner. And now for the green inner, let's find a green outer. There's one here. And again, I want to just take that off by temporarily turning this. Here we go, and that green outer is here, but I'd like it to be on the bottom. So I'm going to once again flip it. Alright, so now that third piece there is ready to come back to here. What's next? I've got a red outer here, so I need to look for a red inner. There's one. I'll flip that over. Okay, that's now in position. I need a yellow outer to come back to there. Where is the yellow outer? Oh, here it is. So again, I'm just going to need to flip that over. Okay, we must be getting close to the end now of the edges. Alright, that's an orange outer, so I'm looking for an orange inner. Now there's one trapped, in fact there's a couple trapped here, so this is a little bit trickier to get out. What I need to do is firstly turn that, and now I want to 3-cycle these, but to do that I'm just going to put the pink block out of the way, get this down to the bottom. Now that I've done that, I'll bring this back and turn it. You can see that it's actually put that piece, was that the piece that I did? Okay, that just means I went the wrong way with the pieces. I actually needed to get it down here, so let's do that again. That'll be better. Okay, that block is back. My orange has been freed. Let's now put that into position. White inner requires a white outer, so I'll bring that down to the bottom. And away we go. Okay, what's remaining? There must be at least one. There's one, and the outer for that, oh, it's sitting here, green, orange, orange, green. Alrighty, so again, I want to get that off. I'm just going to firstly get this one right out of the way. In fact, what probably the easiest thing to do is just put that over there. So I don't know that I did want that all the way over there. Let's just do something like that. Okay, much better. Now, the first thing I can do is put this one up into its position. Now these are the last two, so the only thing I can do here, the green's going to come around to there, this orange, this piece is going to go there, I need another orange to come back to here, and the only orange I can use is an orange that's already reduced. So that's fine, that's actually in position as well. So we turn, make the green, put the orange up there, turn back, they're done as well. And I'm pretty sure that's all of the edges now that have been reduced. Okay, the next stage of this solve is to reduce the corners, and the first thing that I'm going to do is just put this pink corner back. I said it would be pretty straightforward, and it is. Alright, that's back, that won't come out anymore, and that hasn't harmed any edges. Now, with the corners, what we're going to do is something very similar. We're going to look here and say there's a red outer corner sitting here, so I'd like to place a red inner corner there. I've got one on the bottom I could use. Yeah, I've got another one on the bottom. So again, a couple of ways I could get a red on the bottom up to the top. I can just go up, up, down, down 3 times. Okay, so that's now in position, and the same sort of thing is going to happen. I'm turning this around, and I note that that's a blue inner corner, so I would like to have a blue outer corner to replace it. And I see there's one sitting here already. So I turn that around, that reduces the red part. I'm now going to replace it with this blue. So to replace it, I want to do an up, up, down, down, but this face is blocked. So I temporarily turn that back to there. That blue outer corner is in position. I can now return that. Now, as I turn the pink piece back, this blue outer is going to go and reduce that one there, which is what I wanted. Okay, so now I'd look here and say that's a yellow inner corner, so I'd like to have a yellow outer corner over here. I can see that I could rotate that piece, or I could also just bring this one in. Whichever I want is fine. So the yellow is going to go to there. That's got a green, so I'd like to find a green outer if I can. There's none there, and so in fact the green outer is sitting here. So what I'll do is just replace it with some other corner. Doesn't matter, that's not reduced. Turn that back so that I can now turn this corner up. Okay, so what's now, I can choose either of these really. Let's say that I've got the yellow, I want to put a yellow inner sitting here. There's a couple there to choose from. And then the green inner, so I'd like to get a green outer corner. There's the one on the bottom, ready to go. So I want to now replace that, do a swap, so an up, up, down, down 3 times. Bring everything back. Good, that's done. You can see no edges are disturbed here at all in this process. Okay, let's have a look. I've now got, let's say this one that I can bring up. So I've got a blue outer. Now there's a blue inner here, which may actually be the only blue inner. So what I'll probably do here, let's have a think. I would probably, this is the other corner that needs doing. Of course I've got the red here, but let's put the orange up here for now. Now this time what I can do, I think, is turn this around that way. So I'll turn that like that. Now what I'm thinking is that this blue is going to come back to here. So if I could get another piece that had a blue inner, I would do that. But I think that's the only one is there. So instead, I'll get this out of the way and see what I can replace it with. I note that this inner corner here, which came from this piece, is a white inner corner. So what I can do now is actually rotate this corner around so that the white outer is on the top, because I don't think I've got any other white outers that need to be done. I don't. So again, I'll just turn that back, rotate this corner with 2 up, up, down, downs. Okay, now that I bring it back, I've at least got that one done. Okay, so I've got this corner and 2 more pieces to go. Let's see what I can do. Well, I'm not sure this is going to be the most efficient method to do this, but I'll do it anyway. I have a feeling I'm going to end up with one corner that has 2 bits that need to be swapped, but we'll see. I'm going to put the red to there. Now I'm going to replace that, because that had a yellow inner coming back here. So I'll just check that there's no yellow outers. Oh, there is. There it is, that yellow outer. So that's good. So temporarily turn that off and replace this with that yellow outer piece. Now let's turn it back and see what's what. Yep, that's what I thought would happen. I've got this one corner. I tend to do that actually, with 2 bits left in it. Alright, what we need to do now is I need to get another, this is a blue outer that I want to turn onto here. I want it to turn onto a blue inner, but the only blue inner that's unreduced is sitting here. So instead, I'll just grab another blue corner there and put that into position, or I could use this one. I guess I'll use that one, just rotate it twice. Or sorry, just rotate it. Alright, so I'm going to bring this around here. Then I note there's my orange inner. Now, I bring that around to there. I want an orange outer in this position, and that's when I now turn this and rotate this up to the top. So that what do I need to do here? When I turn this back, all is correctly reduced. So that's how I deal with those last 2. Okay, so the next part of the solve is to start placing the edges. I'm going to do the 2x2x3 block around here first. So I might say, well, there's a white orange. Where's that white orange piece? Or a white red, whichever I want. Here's a white orange, and I need to bring that up like that, so I can turn that off temporarily. There's the white orange. Let's do the same for the white red. This time the white is on the bottom, so I'll just need to move that, turn it up, move it back. Now magically, the red green has happened to be in there. I'm glad they both didn't go in there. I'll show you how to do the green orange, which is this one here. So this one I need to turn up to that position, and I don't want to involve this piece. So what I'm going to do is firstly turn like that. So now I can use these 3 pieces, but before I do that, once again, I've got to remove the blocking. So that orange green needs to go to that position. Let's return the block, bring it round, and you can see that that 2x2x3 block is done. Now from here I'm going to start just doing the rest of the edges as I normally would. So I've got a white blue that goes there. Got these 2 edges here to do. I'll do one of them. Now this blue orange has got to go here, and I just want to I'll turn it down into position. But in this case the block's on the bottom, so I could just involve this piece as well and do it like that. Now I won't do this yet because I want to get the yellow pieces done. So I want to look for the yellow orange or the yellow green. They're both around here, so first thing I can do is just turn that yellow green up into position. Now the yellow orange that's here has got to go there, so let's put it down. What I'd like to do is put it down into the bottom like that. I still haven't had to move the pink block yet. I'm going to now, because I want to move this position around to there and then turn this face up, but it's currently blocked. So what I want to do, what I would normally do is just kind of put that out of the way, but then I can't turn the position. So what I'm going to do is turn the position, now put it out of the way, put the yellow block. Now I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit dodgy. So what I'm going to do, instead of just turning that yellow block up, I'm actually going to 3-cycle it with these 3 pieces. Now I think it's going to affect the yellow-green, but that's okay. I'm going to put that back later. Okay, the yellow-orange is in place. I can return that block and put that where it should be. Now I'll just do the same thing that I did before with the yellow-green. So this is just one example of some issues that the blocking causes. And fantastically, you can see the last 3 are in place. Here's the other example. This is why this is such an interesting little thing going on here. This is a single flipped edge, which you can't get, as you know, on a normal Rubik's Cube. So what's happened here is that I've put this block back in wrong. I've put the pink edge back in flipped, but I didn't know it. So how do I deal with this? Well, I've got to unflip it. So I've got to do something like, I've got to remember that this is the side that needs to go onto the top. So I'll just turn that down to the bottom and bring it up. Now that side there is on the top. I've got to go about replacing the pieces. So the white orange is stuck here. Let's get that out. This stuff is still in, so it's only the white orange that was affected. The blue, I probably just took that out accidentally. Let's see if I can do something with that. Blue orange has got to go there. Oh, that's my problem. I was trying to put a blue orange into a position where an orange green needed to go. Let me rectify that. What I've found with puzzles in general is that it helps if the colours match up. Okay, where are we? The white blue's still there. Let's do one of these again, doesn't matter which one. Now that is in its position. I've got to do the, let's try and get the yellow orange, I think, first of all. Just move that off for a minute. That yellow orange is in. Yellow green needs to go here, so I shall just turn it round and flip that yellow green over. Alright, so I'm back where I kind of was before. These were done, and I've now got what I guess I'd call an ordinary 3-cycle of the last 3 pieces here. So I need to turn the upper face and I need to turn this face. So what I would do, I would initially turn that like that. That doesn't allow me to turn the upper face, so then I'm going to turn it back so that I can move the faces that I want. And then undo those turns, and I'll see that all of the edges are now done. Well, the last little stage is to do the corners, and what I've found the easiest thing is to hold the block kind of at the back, right out of the way there, And I want to consider this corner first and this corner second, or this corner first, this corner second. Is this one? No. Okay, so this is the blue, white, red. I'd like to get a blue, white, red into that position. So the easiest thing to do first is to just turn this yellow face 2 turns like that. What I'm going to do is 3 up, up, down, downs, which are going to swap these 2 pieces and these 2 pieces. And as long as I do an up, up, rather than a down, down, it's these 2 pieces at the bottom which will be involved. So let me do that. Now you'll see that's put the white, blue, red in. It happens to have oriented it, which is great. Doesn't matter if it's not. What's going on here? Well, remember that I had 2 setups. Now I need to do the same thing and get the yellow, green, red in that position. The yellow, green, red currently is here. Now normally I would just turn it around like that so I could swap it. But the problem here is that it's going to involve this white, blue, red that I just did. So I've got to be a little bit more creative. The reality is what I really need is actually for these 2 to be swapped. If that was sitting there temporarily, that's all I'd need. So what I'm going to do is temporarily swap them. I'm going to put them in the middle here and then use these other 2 pieces. So I'm not going to disturb the one that I want to be sitting here. So this time I want to involve those 2, and it's 3 down, down, up, ups. Okay, so they're swapped, and I undo those setups. Now remember, this is just temporary, so that is going to go back to there at the end. Now, what I need to do is get this yellow, green, red over to this position. That's what I'm really doing here. It's not going to affect these 2 at the top because I'm now going to do 3 up, up, down, downs. Okay, so that's now in its correct position. Now I've got to unswap these 2 again. So to do that and not disturb the 2 or this piece here, I've got to do 3 down, down, up, ups. Now I undo those 2 moves, and what I see is that the edges are all back. That white, blue, red is where it should be. The yellow, green, red is where it should be. I would say that's actually probably the most involved I've ever had to do with this. Now, what's happened now? I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces remaining. And what we're going to see is that this piece at the top, either they're going to be in their correct position, or this piece at the top and this piece at the top are going to need to swap, which they do, and the 2 pieces in the middle are going to need to swap. And that's what we have here. So, of course, now we just do 3 down, down, up, ups. What that achieves is getting all the corners into their correct positions. Maybe oriented correctly, maybe not. Now that brings us to the last stage of the solve, which is twisting the corners. And ordinarily, on an ordinary cube, what I could do is something like this. I could do an up, up, down, down, say to twist this one anti-clockwise. I'll just carry it out and show you why this technique is not going to work here. I can certainly do it for the first one, but then I would be turning the upper face, but you can see that it's blocked. So if I kind of remove the block, then I turn the other one around and then put the block back, what I've found is firstly problems like this happen, and secondly, when I do go and twist things, it doesn't really work. So let me undo that little twist and show you how I need to do it on this puzzle. What I'm going to do is use soon, and then so right hand soon and then a left hand soon to twist 2 corners. Now, in order to do that, I need to have an upper face and a right and a left face free, or at least an upper face and a right face. And I also don't really want to be turning the white face here. So I need the pink bar on the bottom and I want the white face on the bottom. So I think, how do I do that? Okay, that's the position that I need to hold it in. And the only 2 faces that are going to be affected, or in fact the only one face that's going to be affected is the top face. The only 2 faces I'm using at the top and the right, or the up and the right. Then I'm going to do the mirror. So in order for this to work, I need, in this position, I need an anti-clockwise corner. So this one here, you can see that does need to be twisted anti-clockwise. This one, I want to be a clockwise twisting corner. So at the moment, these two are perfectly positioned. It's very unusual that that happens. Normally I've got to do a bit of setup to get them there. But this is great because for the first one I can show you exactly what is going on. So I'm going to carry out firstly a sewn. And I want to carry out a left-hand seam. Now I can do that, but as soon as I try doing this, I'm stuck. So all I do first is just turn that over to the other side. Now, and you might have noticed the little pink part came up and it was rotating around the top, but because it was from the bottom face, it's not affected at all. I'll bring that back and you'll notice that these two corners here have been adequately twisted. That's what I need to do. So now I've got 3 more corners to twist. They all need to be twisted anti-clockwise. So for this one, I would just turn these two around, and I know that this one will be correct when I'm finished. This one, because it's going clockwise, will not be correct, but that's okay because I'll need to do this twice anyway. So I'll get this one done first. Let's repeat that. And again, turn that pink block out of the way. Now bring it back, undo my setups there, and that has, as I said, twisted that one correctly. Now I've got 2 corners remaining. This needs to be clockwise, this needs to be anti. What I would like is to just be able to turn it up like that and then turn it around into position. But you can see that I've got the wrong corners in the wrong position. So there's a couple of things I could do. One is that I could actually just do the whole routine twice. So I'll twist this there first and then here, which will then correctly do it. Or I could attempt to set them up so that the clockwise one is at the back. And that's this one here. So how can I do that? Let's see if it's easy enough to do. In this case, if I actually turn that right face 2 turns, and then remember I'm just thinking this through, this one here needs to go at the back and the other one needs to go at the front. So I'm going to turn that 2 turns and then up prime, right prime, up prime. And now what I've got is the corners in the correct position. So all I need to remember is up prime, right prime, up prime. Everything's a bit of a mess, but I can still carry out what I need to do. Okay, let's undo those setups. And you can see that that has successfully done that. So that's the technique that I use for this cube. I hope that was vaguely watchable and enjoyable. And as I said, I've now got a replacement video for that original one a number of years ago. As always, thanks for watching.